Now, today, I'm your host. Today, we're going to be talking and reviewing the Fnaf Endo 1 Freddy, well, Classic Freddy and Withered Freddy. Now, it is a suit that, or it's an endo skeleton, but you can choose either suit, which I think is pretty good too. I bought this Walmart for $25. If you can find one of these, that I'll get to in a bit. Now, this right here is wave 1. Technically, it's wave 1 of Bonnie and Freddy, technically, because in December, from what I know of, uh, Foxy and Chica came out in December, which is technically wave 2, which they were named as. And I think that's a little weird, but now we have the toy animatronics coming out as well. Somewhere, I think around the spring to summer, if I remember that correctly, which I kind of have to remember on that one. And the other suits that the toy animatronics are getting is from the AR app, Fnaf Delivery. If you remember that app, I do because I played it for a little bit. I have so many endos is a problem. However, I do like this Freddy, and the background is pretty cool. But I do like the box because it did give you classic Freddy, but the same picture in the back. I really don't understand that part, but whatever. I mean, better than having the Withered Freddy from Funko, and then them never making a Withered Freddy at all. I mean, yeah, if finally we got a Withered Freddy and Withered Bonnie and Withered Chica and Foxy, but we had to wait this long to get those figures. It's 9 years, 10 years. Because if you think about it, from 2014, we never got the Wither animatronics. We only got the classic animatronics. So Fnaf 1 animatronics with Golden Freddy, and I don't think Golden Freddy. Yeah, I know Golden Freddy has the figure, but I don't know about that one in terms. But the Build-A-Figure was Springtrap. But from what I do know, we are getting a Springtrap as the Endo series. That's gonna be hard to even say from my terms because how that's gonna work. Because yeah, you get Springtrap, and now you get technically Spring Bonnie, but we never seen them in like a 3D realm. Only in the 8-bit version. They need to figure that out. And I'm gonna be honest here, I want to see how they're gonna do it because, well, it's a guy in a suit. They need to figure it out. Let's see where that goes for them. Hopefully they make it justifiable because, good God, I don't know. Anyways, let's look at Freddy and try to go on tangent because I'm trying to figure that out because technically, do they need to release the Shadow or the Phantom characters as well for FNAF 3? Because technically, well, I mean, I think they do Springtrap. I mean, they're gonna they're probably gonna pull one of the skins from the AR games, which if they're gonna do the animatronics and give them like the AR suits, yeah, I can see that being where they're gonna pull. Or we're gonna get a classic, a classic Spring Bonnie. We're not getting that, and if we do, we need to repaint to get a repaint. Anyways, let's take a closer look up at Freddy and let's see if it's worth your money. Does it have Bonnie? I mean, Freddy. Look, it's 8 in the morning for me, and I got work in a bit. I got work at 11. Thank God today. We'll see. Yeah. No, the Endo series 01 Freddy slash I want to say what is Freddy? I do have both of them. Well, one. I need another one to make both of them. Now I'll talk about the endoskeleton because it's the same endoskeleton for the first wave. Yes, I know wave 2 is just Foxy and Chico. Or sorry, Foxy and Chico. However, they did show off their toy animatronics. I probably will pick it up as well. Now, this thing does have a lot of articulation. It is just a skeleton. What do you expect? Going back that far, oh, this far. Actually, just joints all together. It's the same joints like this. Now, as you can see right here, when you flip the arm around, different areas to connect stuff. Okay, it does have a joint right here that it rotates. It could be 9 degrees at the leg, the drop down hip, ball right here. The head, not much movement. That's the only part that I wish the thing had more head movement. But you can only go that far. But however, when you put on the mask, it stops the movement entirely because the jaw has to move. This is a good thing to point out right here. I'm going to use Freddy's version of Freddy. So when you want to do it, you can't because it wants to get stuck in the shoulder. And when you put the suit on, there's not much movement either because it just want to stay in place. And there you go. But I will say, if you have a table like this, you could just sit them on the table and it just fits just right. To make the Fnaf 1 stuff. Which I think it was fantastic at its own thing. If you just pick a few more, you could just make a whole like a whole table, like a whole room just full of endo suits, or does they floating endos? And they're on bags, so it's easy for me so I can find them. And I will say one thing I do like is that the eyes do come out, and they do have a specific way they go in and out of it. Now, the only reason I'm saying the eyes come out is because they did release their Shadow Freddy, which I do have, and I will review for the channel. I just don't review. I'm not going to do in this one to show 3 different Freddys. Now, it is the same endo like for each one, for wave 1 and 2. The articulations are fantastic on the endos, which is not the problem. And the fact that if you want to take off the leg, you can. Do be cautious. I do think the plastic is one of those where over time it may want to break on you. But yes, that's one of the things. Now we're going to go classic Freddy first. So the way it works, snap everything. Well, not snapping everything in. It's just putting everything together. And here's the only problem that I do have: that Freddy's eyes are basically are so close. However, with Chica, they have fixed that, but it took them until wave 2 to fix that. So, yeah, everything just snaps right on. And everything has where it has to. Now, remember when we talked about that when you want the mouth and you want to, yeah, you can't do that. And you just gotta pop the hands off. Okay. And put that in. It's not easy. You just gotta pop the hands on entirely. Except for certain characters, they do need the other kind of points. But I will say this thing does have one thing. It do have joints that can move back, like rock back and forth. So that's kind of cool. Pop the feet off. And it doesn't matter with the feet. But it is a little tight at times. And with the waist, it does... Okay, the thing is with the other joints, They do tell you very, very small if it's the front or back. Now, this one's the back. This part right here is the back piece. And you usually got to slide it on. So the front piece on. And a Fredder has his growing point. Legs, these have their basically own. They have their own too. They tell you back. So you flip it, it'll be front, left. And they just go in. Well, it should go in like this. But if you don't feel comfortable with that, it doesn't matter how you put them in by that point. Just kind of just go on. Let me get the feet on real quick. Okay. One foot's on, but the other one's a nightmare to get on right now. It is just a slow point of wanting to put these together. I can tell you that already. And it does give you hand cramps. That's the only problem. It feels like you're going to get cramps and keep working on it for a little too long. Sometimes they don't want to come off properly, so you need to use something to pop them off. Okay, pop that off. So back, right leg. And I will say, when you do get it on, it feels like you're building it in a cool way. Which, no, I don't say that about a lot of stuff like this. Because normally, these things are really not meant for, what do you think it is? Back, left leg. And since they can rotate, you could just put everything on just as easily. And yes, he can sort of sit in the suit like this, which actually is so cool. But you need to pull these things apart. And it makes a problem because sometimes you need to pull them apart again if you mess up. But technically, if you just mess up, you can just pop it on, which is actually pretty cool. There you go. And I'm gonna do With Afraid 2 as well, because, well, of course I have to. It wouldn't be me if I didn't do more work than I have to on these things. The only wish I wish the thing had was a hand to hold a microphone. These things are lacking some accessories because, well, Freddy needs a microphone. And that's the only thing is some of these are determined because Bonnie doesn't have a guitar album. Chica doesn't have a cupcake, which is kind of weird. You would think they would give certain characters their accessories to make it work. Now, I forgot to pull down the other part of my collection, which was the tie-dye. I had the tie-dye fully. Here it's a problem since I forgot to put that down, and that's my only issue, which I'm a dipshit for. I will do that for next time with Bonnie. So, sorry, my hand got guarded after a certain amount of parts of this. And everything should be coming on pretty easily. front left. Front left is pretty. Okay. Let's rotate the points. Now, I will say the bits do limit some parts of the articulation, which we'll point out with the arm. It does limit the movement. The legs are emotes, or actually emote same. The feet, they are limited. So the suits do limit some part of articulation. But except for the body, I didn't limit that part. It didn't limit all the parts. But these are really freaking big compared to the Funko ones. Sorry if my arm's in the way. Gotta put that off again. Frick me sideways. Oh. So as you can see, it does limit the articulation heavily. But I will say, I mean, if you just want it for your own collection, which I can understand, I think it looks pretty fantastic. You just gotta pop everything off, and then that's why you need to buy two of these, because if not, you're gonna be doing all this, and you don't want to do it that day. Trust me, it is not fun because this part is already like 11 minutes long, and I'm be honest here, I don't want to take that much longer than I have to. Now, I will say, Freddy looks fantastic. I think it was pretty good, and the other bits you can just put in a bag. I'm not joking, you can put them somewhere else entirely. And compared to the table, and I won't say size-wise, I mean, he is just as big as Marvel Legend is. Spider-Man is a 6-inch figure, just as big, but it does work. And yeah, it does limit some of the movements, which is a problem because you would want to have like a lot of range. Something like, because like still, oh crap, and some parts will fall off. So caution is always aware with these figures. But I mean, that's like any figure, so caution is always included, or has to be done. But I mean, that's a more legend. You would say, okay, how big would be a big Transformer? That's a Bumblebee. Bird. Now I'm gonna do the withered Freddy off screen because I don't want you to get bored of me trying to do all that on camera again. So yeah. No, I say withered Freddy looks I don't more better than regular Freddy does. And I do have Freddy Max back there. I think it works more better. Because I think since they actually made the parts look like they are rusted and have holes in them, this is outdoor at the body too. So on the back of the body, I do like that part. It is throughout, not just the front only, but throughout. And I will say, I mean, if you want to make it a little more cooler, okay. You could take like an eye route, like a eye. Freddy Mac. Right. Damn. And really make it really cool. And the fact that in case you don't like how it looks like that, you can still pop in the eye, I think. The nose is a little too big. But the fact that you can see the endo, not that much, but it looks so much more cooler. So you can just have one of the eyes sitting right here and make it look like Freddy just walking towards you. like walking towards you, like trying to grab you like this. And I think it looks really fantastic. And I will say the articulations are the same. But I will say I forgot one thing. The hands do go like this and like this. Same thing with the endo hands too. But I will say it's kind of weird that the endo hands are more bigger. It doesn't. It might be me, but the endo hands are more bigger than the hands on the suit. So that's kind of strange on my end. But no, that's just strange. And I will say, if you just to make it look like, oh crap, if you just make the endo under it look more dirtier, like a little more rusty, I think it looks a lot more better than it would be. And I think I may do that as like a small thing just for myself. If I'm playing with a model kit again. And articulation, but all the same again like usual. And I will say the height, I want to say is almost the same. Black to Spider-Man. Bumblebee. Bird. I'm gonna go see if I heard those like a work in the morning. Now I will say it is good if you can find one and pick it up. The funny part is I did buy these a while back ago. But now they're getting hard to find now, and then now Wave 2 I remember Wave 2 came on back in December, so it was Foxy and Chica. And they were hard to, and they came on GameStop site, and those are not easy to get either. So these guys are getting harder and harder to find. But I'm trying to. I'm gonna buy another. I need to buy 2 of each, so I can make both styles. So I need to change out the armor, or sorry, change out the pieces every time, because that's a problem for me because I don't have a lot of time to do that. Go back and forth. So yeah. What do you think? Would you pick this up? You could find one or not, because good luck. And if you can't find one, do what you need to do with it. Customize it. I mean, people have made the what's it called? Joy creation frames by using the suits and just taking pieces off and stuff like that. What do you think? Well, get to my funds on this. Sorry. I really do love these things. They're fantastic. Good sizing too, because I mean they do really. I mean, if I had to be a little more fair, they are the right sizing. If you have like a smaller figure, like a 5-inch figure, it would work fantastic for it. But if it was a little more bigger, to feel like it goes, if it was a bit more bigger and feels like a sizing to a person, kind of like a little bigger to a person, because if you think about it, if you remember, Circus Baby is like 6 foot something, and if you compare to the person, I mean, it does work when you have like a smaller character, like a human, to make it a little more smaller, and it works fantastically. If these were a little more bigger, which I don't mind the size, if they were more bigger, that'd be a little more proper spacing. But if these were a little more taller to have as a figure, I think that'd be a little more better. Because if you think about it, this would be a animatronic that would be bigger in life size. Well, not a little more bigger than a person. So it should, outstand a person. But I mean, technically, it's hard to do anyways, because I mean, not every character is like 6 foot like Baby is. I mean, a lot of them really seem in similar heights, but that really depends on the scaling of the models, because they are so confusing in height, and I don't know what the sizings are. and I just gotta give up because you need the throw. And the LiQWDY accessories that it does have. The thing about it, Bonnie doesn't have a guitar. Freddy doesn't have a microphone or another hand that can hold a microphone. Chica doesn't have a cupcake, and Foxy uses Foxy. He has his hook. I mean, that's one thing he has at least. I mean, that's kind of weird. Does he even have a hook? Look real quick. Very quick. Thank God I'm a good camera from me, just in case, because and these things are out of stock way too often. So yes, he has his hook on both models, which is good. So Foxy does come with an accessory, at least. But the fact that Foxy has one, but Chica doesn't have a cupcake. I mean, you could make one out of 3D printing, or make one out of other materials to make it fit. So that does make it more reasonable. Freddy with the microphone, you need to make a new hand for him. So that's one thing. And then Bonnie with his guitar, that you need to probably figure out with that one, because the original guitar was a with the copy of Jimi Hendrix's guitar, if I remember correctly. And the movie and ever since then, the guitar been changing between all that since then. I'll be honest here, changing a lot more than I want to admit, because it's a problem for me, and I don't know what the hell I'm looking at sometimes. So, would you pick up the Endo series if you could find them? So, like, I know what I'm doing, but if you could find one of these, and if you can, good for you. But you would buy 2 of the Freddys and 2 of the Bonnies and 2 of each to make the withers and make the classics. I wouldn't do that for the Toymatronic when they come out, because I don't really like the AR suits in the slightest. So I'm just gonna buy one of those, and I'm just probably gonna do that. I mean, Mango does have the black variant, so that's kind of cool, guys. I guess so. But I mean, do what you do on your figures. I mean, I'm just gonna probably lightly touch it up with a few painting areas. Actually, it's not that hard. So yeah, what do you think? Everything should be in the description below for where I am, in case you want to follow me on social media, or just gonna be in the link tree anyway. So look there. So I hope you have a good day, and probably see you next month. Yeah.